So we now have a better understanding of what the effect of the pandemic and the park closures has had on the estimated opening timelines for the TRON Lightcycle Run roller coaster coming to the Magic Kingdom, and also the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster coming to Epcot. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltonaires, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast, and for today, let's just get straight into it. So back in April, I did a video on the construction pause at Walt Disney World and the potential that the pandemic's economic effect would have on the fate of certain projects, including the expected completion date for current construction. And at the time it was only logical to estimate that every project was to be pushed back by at least 4 months, as that was the duration of the closure and the construction pause. However, since July's reopening of Walt Disney World, the situation has now become a lot clearer. As despite construction having resumed on projects like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and TRON, it has done so at an albeit much slower pace than before the pandemic. And we've also received official statements from Disney that the Mary Poppins attraction coming to Epcot has been delayed indefinitely, the Spaceship Earth revamp has been pushed back, and Epcot's multi-year transformation of Future World is paused whilst it's being re-evaluated. But at the same time, we've also had confirmation by Disney's Chief Financial Officer, Christine McCarthy, that despite the lack of visual progress to indicate otherwise, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser or Star Wars Hotel does remain a high priority project, along with Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, TRON, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and the Play Pavilion. But you see, the thing is, Disney deeming a project to be a high priority may not necessarily have the same meaning that many of us first believed, as we're now getting reliable accounts from sources on the WDW Magic forums that it's looking increasingly likely that the TRON Lightcycle Run roller coaster may not open in time for the very beginning of the 50th anniversary celebrations, or the exact 50th anniversary date of October 1st, 2021. As a source working for a vendor that supplies the construction site has stated that the exterior work will continue and will be finished up within the early months of 2021. But then, the construction on the interior will remain paused until fall of 2021, meaning that the opening of this attraction will most likely be pushed back until spring 2022. Now, the validity of this report does seem fairly strong, as it's also been further corroborated by other reliable insiders, and also the site owner of WDW Magic as well. And logically speaking, it does make sense that Disney would not want to continue at full speed to open an attraction when attendance levels will have to remain capped into next year. And then the other point is that Disney will want to use this TRON attraction as a part of a big marketing push in 2022 to signal a return to normal operation post-pandemic measures. But of course, as is the case with so much of life at the moment, uncertainty is extremely high, and it all depends upon these big macro factors that Disney doesn't have any control over, such as the COVID-19 vaccine efficacy and widespread availability, and then most importantly, what the adoption rates for the vaccine will be as a percentage of the population, so that it's able to provide a permanent decrease in the reproductive rate of the virus. And the other big macro factor is the overall state of the economy, and the effect that that will have on the travel industry, the tourism market, and consumer spending throughout 2021. But those big factors could easily go either way, meaning that this updated estimate of a spring 2022 opening for TRON might be brought forward to very late 2021 instead, if things do return to normal much quicker than expected. But even if Disney does decide to stick with their later stage opening of TRON in 2022, it does not mean that it won't be marketed as part of the 50th or celebrated as part of the anniversary. As you see, the 50th anniversary celebrations was always expected to be a 12 to 18 month long marketing campaign, with it originally slated to start in early summer 2021. But now with the delays, we're most likely looking at an official start date for the celebration in September 2021, with it running throughout most of 2022 and perhaps even into early 2023. Which means that unlike reports from other sites, TRON would still be classed and celebrated as a 50th anniversary edition. But also, despite so much of this active construction being on display and it being extremely exciting to see the progress being made on this futuristic LED illuminated canopy, it's most likely that we're going to see the exterior work be completed, but then there will be a significant interval between that and the attraction opening, as Disney has been reluctant to open a major attraction in the midst of a pandemic. And that is actually something that I've heard as well with regards to Remy's Ratatouille adventure, as the exterior work has continued on the expansion at the back of the France Pavilion. And despite the attraction now beginning its testing, it's said that Disney executives would rather wait until 2021 for an official opening, and instead use this attraction as a marketing boost for the attendance next year, along with advertising Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which opened just weeks before the initial pandemic shutdown. But that still doesn't mean that I wouldn't rule it out of the realm of possibility that we see this courtyard for Ratatouille soft open before Christmas, with perhaps the new creperie opening to guess. But it's said that the main attraction is expected to wait until 2021. And so I know it may seem a little strange for Disney to hold off on completing attractions that could realistically open relatively soon. But you see, Disney is in kind of a difficult position here, as first of all, Disney has to consider the media coverage and public relation optics of opening a new ride right in the middle of a global health pandemic, thus potentially encouraging large crowds, which could be perceived to be making them look irresponsible. And right now, credibility about health and safety is the most valuable and important currency to Disney's business to be able to sustain and weather the long-term effects of the pandemic. And the other element is the delayed opening of seemingly completed attractions may also be a result of accounting practices and sharing out the cost into multiple fiscal years to improve shareholder confidence for a strong bounce back with a long-term plan. But then we move on to another big attraction project that was announced at the same time as TRON back in 2017, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind coming to Epcot. And this $400 million first of its kind storytelling roller coaster has been much harder to gauge in terms of its construction progress, as the main gravity building was enclosed fairly early on in the process back in late 2018. Although, given the nearly 4-month closure of Walt Disney World earlier this year, despite this being a highly anticipated, high-priority attraction, it's also been pushed back. And the thing about this Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster is that it was always expected to open after the TRON Lightcycle run, and was originally aiming at a late fall 2021, if not 2022 opening. However, we now have it on good authority that this attraction is expected to open in time for Epcot's 40th anniversary, which is October 1st, 2022. So yes, it is of course possible that it opens a month or two before that date, but much like TRON, Cosmic Rewind will certainly be used as part of a huge marketing effort for the 40th anniversary of Epcot, with a major focus to drive increased attendance back to pre-pandemic levels once again. And then lastly, we also have the Play Pavilion, which is under construction at Epcot. And despite not being able to see the visible construction inside, we do know that this project is still progressing through the filing of permits for show set installation inside the pavilion. However, the Play Pavilion was originally set to open for the 50th anniversary, but obviously, considering the nature of the pavilion being an interactive kids play area, then it would be safe to assume that its opening will depend very heavily on how coronavirus is currently being controlled and the effectiveness and adoption rate of the COVID-19 vaccine. But now it's over to you, Walt, and as I would like to know, what are all your thoughts and opinions regarding this news of these attractions supposedly being pushed back into 2022, and also if you could pick one project to be prioritised to come a little bit sooner in 2021, then what would it be and why? And of course, don't forget to put a timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere in today's video, along with your suggestion or your comment, to be in the chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Walt here for this suggestion from a previous video where I did my first DSNY deep dive into the topic of clone culture within the Disney parks. And so that's it for today, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel, hit that notification icon so that you always receive an update whenever I release a video, and also if you've enjoyed today's video then be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up, as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.